with nails. I didn't want to do anything. I was like, and they said, Annie, he's changing your state. But what? What's a state? Right? So he explained it to me. He said, look, you know, give it a go. Teachers and all these people that we have followed and learned from, there's such amazing intention behind everything that they do. So I just say to everybody, first God, just go with it, because there's a reason why everything happens. It's not about making you look foolish. It's about making you connect to a part of you that's kind of buried in there, but in there. So that was 2011. And I kind of went, oh, I don't know about this guy, but there was something about him that stuck with me. And then I started to observe him. And then in 2013, as part of a goal setting program that I did, I wrote down that I want to go and see Tony Robbins. I want to participate in one of his programs. And then I said that I want to go and do it in Sydney. And then 5 years later, in 2018, that's when I actually did it. In 2000, so all this time I was just watching and observing and listening and all of that. And well, actually, let me step one back. In 2016, I was crewing for another trainer, and I was sort of talking about my relationship, you know, my marriage. And one of the gentlemen that was crewing gave me a gift at the end. And he gave me Tony Robbins' Love and Passion audio. And I just went, you don't need it? He said, I downloaded it, you need it. And he gave it to me. And I started listening. And I just went, oh my God, this man is just singing my music, right? Him and Sage. And then in 2018, I had $1,000 left to my name, who you also know. He rang me, said, hey, I've got 2 tickets to Tony Robbins, you know, do you want to go Harvey's? And I said, well, I don't really have that kind of money. I had $1,000 to my name. And I said, so I need flights, I need accommodation and all of that. And I said, all right, let's do it. It was just one of those things. There's something inside of me. I said, okay. And I always go back to my goals. And I looked at them and I said, I'm going to do Tony Robbins in Sydney. Okay, let's go. I need to fulfill on that goal. So for $1,000, and I every, you know, those points that you get, altitude points and all of that, I just gathered them all. I transferred them to each other, and I got my flight. So I paid like $20 for one and $50 for the other. I found the accommodation, we had the car and the tickets, and there I was with 8,000 people. I can tell you, I call this the personal development rave, right? There were that, and I thought, there's that many people there wanting to grow themselves. Now, I lost you. I can't see your video.
Yeah, my screen, 2 seconds, it's just switching for some reason. Sorry, I can switch screens for some reason.
That's okay. So there I was. And I tell you, when they and there's this clock and it goes down and then I just go, oh my God, he's gonna come out now. I was so excited. And I can tell you, that man just goes. Talking about the Energizer Bunny, I mean, he is truly, truly electrical. But I think what is so amazing about him, it's his desire to contribute to others. It's like he breathes it, he eats it, he sleeps it, he shits it. It's everything. He is just a truly amazing trainer, and I love the fact that in this particular course it's purely about personal growth. You know, like we've done so many other courses, you and I, we've known each other since 2011, since about NAC and trainer and all those kind of things, right? But this one, it's not about a skill. This is purely about you as an individual. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. And it was just going, and you didn't know what the time was and all of that. It was I was completely immersed in it, and it was just great. It was great to see people popping, like say people sitting there like, nah, I won't. And my girlfriend, I took my oldest girlfriend, we met in chemistry class when we were 16 years old, so we've known each other now for 38 years. Wow. And I invited her to come also. And because our tickets were we were separated, she had to sit somewhere else. And she said, that's it, this is not for me, this is over the top, da 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 da. And I said, all right, if you don't want to be here, go. And she said, oh, I want my money back, da 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 da. I said, go and get your money back. I said, I'm going back in there, I want to learn. And then she couldn't get her money back for whatever reason. She waited too long. And then she said, she goes, well, I don't know what to do. I said, you know what? I said, you can come in there, sit your ass down and just listen. You don't need to dance. You don't need to do anything. I said, but what this person is teaching you and all his guests and everybody else who's there, they're there for you. I said, if you just do that, I guarantee I can put my life on it that by the end, you're going to be jumping like a lunatic. Guess what? She did.
Oh, I love that.
And she went further to invest in some of the other courses. And I went, oh, okay then. I did, right? So it's like I tell everybody, it's different. Whatever it is, just go. Just go, because you will get at least one thing. Well, you get lots, but at least one thing that will shift your life.
Yeah. And you know what, Annie, you've said some magical things along the way. I was like taking notes like crazy, because, you know, for you here watching with us, first of all, let us know your name, what you're watching, whether you're watching it live or, you know, the replay after. But how many times you've taken yourself out before you even get there? Because of that, you know, whether we're cocky, whether we're arrogant, whether we're like, I don't know why I'm here. Or even worse, when things don't go as planned, because we have so many expectations that if one little thing doesn't match our expectations, that's it.
And my girlfriend, I took my lots, but at least one thing that will shift your life.
Yeah, and you know what, Annie, because the more expectations we have, so many expectations, more likely that if one little thing doesn't match our expectations, that's it.
And my girlfriend, I took my lots, but at least one thing that will shift your life.
Yeah, and you know what, Annie, because the more expectations we have, so many expectations, more likely that if one little thing. And how many times you've taken yourself out before you get there. Now, another thing is, so as it seems, Annie and I named National Achievers Congress 2011 as Tony Robbins, Baker, Robert Kiyosaki, and Donald Trump, right? Yes. So, and then, you know, same like Annie said, I didn't even know what this thing was. I didn't even know what a breakthrough was. Tony Robbins kept talking about a breakthrough, and whenever you have a breakthrough, how was that? Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump, right? Yes. So, and then, you know, same like Annie said, I didn't even know what this thing was. I didn't even know what a breakthrough was. Tony Robbins kept talking about like a breakthrough, and whenever you have a breakthrough, don't you realize Robert Kiyosaki and Donald. Something shifted, something changed within me, and you know, it was just amazing. And the whole thing of getting on a stage and, you know, bringing your energy up, going from the chair, I'm not doing this, I'm too cool for this, to like, you know, all that. And then just like Annie said, she just trusted her intuition. She didn't have any money. She didn't know how she was gonna make it. She trusted her intuition, her gut, and she was decisive. She made the decision. And I'll tell you what, back then she had to pay for flights and hotel and eating out plus the ticket, and to go on a you know, one of UPW Tony Robbins event live seminar. It's at least the lowest ticket, the more cost-effective ticket is at least $2,000. So I think we're so fortunate today that because of the pandemic, thanks to Success Resources, you don't have to pay for airfares, you don't have to pay for flights, you don't have to buy food app, And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to be with Tony Robbins himself, the man, the legend, doing UPW. And you don't have to leave your loved ones behind. Because, and Annie, I'm pretty sure you went through the same with me. And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to be with Tony Robbins himself, the man, the legend, doing UPW. And you don't have to leave your loved ones behind. Because, and Annie, I'm pretty sure you went through the same with me. And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to be with Tony Robbins himself, the man, the legend, doing UPW. And you don't have to leave your loved ones behind. Because, and Annie, I'm pretty sure you went cover of your home. And you can have your wife, your husband, your kids, your mom, anyone. And if you are in a place like Melbourne, where you're still having restrictions or full on at lockdown, you need it more than ever, because I know how tough it is. Even for us here in Queensland, which, you know, we have a lot of freedom, it's still hard, man. Just not being able to have the ability to be with your family or to travel the way we used to, you know, it hits you hard. So now more than ever is the time to work on yourself. And then Annie said, you know, this man, he doesn't have the need to be doing any of this. I mean, this has never done in the history of humanity. He built a $2 million, 360-degree interactive studio so that he could continue to impact thousands of lives around the world. He didn't have to. He could easily just, you know, take a sabbatical for the rest of his life with his beautiful wife, but he cares so much. And you can see that at UPW, like Annie said. You know, someone is sharing their story, he's doing an intervention, and man, he goes there with them. He'll be in tears, he'll be aching for them, wanting to help them, and it's just so, oh, it just touches your heart to see how he truly cares. And then one last thing that Annie said that was so important, she said it's all mindset, it's all personal development, and Tony Robbins always says 80% of the equation is mindset. That's what I call it. He calls it psychology. 20% of the equation is the strategy, the logistics, the mechanics. So how much time and money have you spent in your life trying to learn how to do real estate or internet marketing or trading on the stock, and you find yourself sabotaging yourself over and over and over because you're lacking the main part, the 80% of the equation for success is the psychology, the mindset, and that's what Tony brings to you. So let's talk about that, Annie. Take me through the day one, day two, and all of these.
Well, you might need to remind me what happens on day one, because I don't remember exactly what happens. I just know that he takes you through. I love the fact that he explains things to you, just like, you know, breakthrough. And I was just looking for my notebook. So I actually have a notebook, a Tony Robbins notebook.
Oh, nice.
I do. And everything that I'm learning from Tony Robbins, I put in there. And I tell you, I have it here with me all the time, because I go back to it. And when I work with my clients, when I coach, sometimes I go, oh, he said something, let me just go to that. And the thing is, the breakthrough, when he explained what a breakthrough is, I was like almost breathless kind of thing, you know, like he said, it's a moment, it's, as you said before, it's that moment in time, you know, it's like when everything
shifts.
Yeah, when everything shifts, and it's almost like, wow. And that's what happens, people here. A breakthrough is a moment in time when everything changes, when the impossible becomes possible and you act on it. So, and what creates a breakthrough is what triggers it. When you hit the threshold of pain, and that's when something shifts. So I just want to share, before I went to Tony Robbins, 2018 had to be probably the hardest, most painful year of my life. There's a lot of heartache. I lost many people in my life, and I found myself alone, and I got very sick, and I lost hair, and my mouth was bleeding from the stress and swollen. So physically, my body was reacting. And when David called me, that was, and because I've been in this environment for 10 years now, I knew something was happening. I knew that I had to shift it, but I just needed something, because we all do. Just because we're trainers and coaches, we still have problems. And Tony Robbins always says,
happens, people here.
The more you
A
develop
breakthrough is a moment in time when
I knew that I had to shift it. And then David called us and said, okay, this
but
is
I
a
just
sign.
needed something.
Because we all do. Just because we're trainers and coaches, we still have problems. And Tony Robbins always says,
Happens, people here.
The more you
A
develop
breakthrough is a
and I just know that whether live or virtual, what he does and what he teaches. And I just experienced a virtual challenge with him about a month ago. So I was very curious to see. It doesn't really matter. It actually doesn't matter. If you're committed to the betterment of your life, it doesn't matter whether it's live or whether it's here. Plus the savings, as you said before, that goes into the thousands of dollars, especially if you think about it. If you got a partner and you got a couple of kids and you want them to experience all of this, I mean, we're talking about big dollars. Yeah. Here, I mean, it's I don't know how much it is now, but it's a minuscule to what it is, and it's in Australian dollars, not even US dollars. It's in Australian dollars, so it's just crazy. So you can go down to the shopping center and walk away with $400 worth of bags full of, I don't know, from the $2 shop that you don't really need, but it was fun in the moment. Or you spend $400-500 on yourself. You are worth it. I tell everybody, you are worth every cent that you spend on you.
Even the daily coffee, if you just give up the daily coffee for 2 months, that alone pays for your UPW virtual. And Tony Robbins says the best teachers are the best students, just like Annie said. We all have another level of enlightenment, and when you keep getting ahead of your clients, if you are in business, if you're a coach or trainer or anything like that, you got to stay on top of your clients before they start surpassing you, because then you can help more people. And Tony Robbins, people go, oh yeah, but it's Tony Robbins. Well, how do you think he became Tony Robbins? First of all, he's been doing this for 43 years. But second of all, because back in the day when he was in his late teens, he used to attend every personal development seminar, live event, workshop, book, anything and everything. And he didn't have the money. He was a janitor. He was making $35,000 a year. And so, you know what? He didn't care if he had to sleep in the car for a few nights to have enough money to pay for the next ticket. And as he said, some of them were amazing, some of them were very lousy. But talk about trading expectations for appreciation, right? He thought, if I can get one new distinction, that makes it all worth it. And what do you think happens when you go with that expectation? You know what? Who cares if I'm too good now, if I'm too cocky, arrogant? If I go to this event, if I can learn one new distinction, boom, makes it all worth it. And when I heard him say that the first time, I'm like, oh my God, that was a huge shift for me, a new paradigm, a new breakthrough, right? Like, what a difference going there with expectation of, oh, it's gonna be everything, and then it's like this sure of everything. That's it, you're disappointed, it's the end of the world. But if you go there, you know what? Let me see if I can learn one new little thing. Now, of course, with Tony Robbins is different, because you're not gonna learn just one new little thing. A new paradigm, a new breakthrough, right? What a difference! As she said, we are constantly growing and going through the next level. So the more that we prepare ourselves, the more people that we can help. In fact, Tony Robbins always says, if you remember this, Annie, when you're taking notes, go crazy. Don't take notes just for you. Take notes as if you're going to teach it to someone else, because that's going to help you learn it better. And we want you to then go and share it with other people. And look, Annie's been a great follower, role model of what Tony teaches. by, you know, taking her notes, and she has it there as her daily Bible when she's coaching her own clients, because everything she learns, she's gonna be able to implement. So, Annie, tell us, what was the Annie that walked in day one, the Annie that walked out 4 days later? Because it says 3.5 days later, but really, I know Tony, he likes to over deliver, and there's not such a thing as a half a day. So, you know, 4 days later, how does Annie feel?
Annie feels great, and Annie has made a decision that just because she has no money, she's not going to let that stop her. Annie trusts that, you know, you turn your, that's another thing he says. I just don't know exactly how he says it, but the gist of it is your pains and your struggles are the things that are your gifts. Okay, so them to each other, and I got my flight, so I paid like $20. Architect, so I work with relationships. So the thing is that all my relationships with my father and my brother and my former husband and my friends and co-workers, I realized that all the challenges and the pains that I've gone through is what I want to teach, because you teach the thing you want to master. So my thing is mastering relationships, right? So I knew there when I heard him say that your pains is actually your gifts. Relationships with my father bring to the world, right? So I just decided that's it. I'm gonna I'm gonna do whatever it takes to build this business. And then I continue, like I'm forever continuing with my education. And I studied more with him, and I have to say I'm so grateful to companies like Success Resources that they find and they bring in these amazing people that have such great material, but they create great context for you to feel safe in, to have a good time. Because if you're having a good time, if you're laughing, if you're allowed to cry, if you're allowed to be vulnerable, if you're like, you know, you're safe, because everybody there is for the same purpose. And for some reason, like, he just holds it all, right? So I walked out of there going, this is it. And I tell you what, I have not looked back. I have not looked back since, and my business is growing, and I love what I do. And, you know, whatever Tony Robbins does now, I'm on it.
Good.
On top of like my, you know, my own mentors, we have our own mentors.
Yes.
But when it comes to personal development, this is all that is, but it's all about every aspect of you. So, you know, he brought in the fitness guy, and I tell you what, I've been having a lot of problems with my back, my hips, this and that, and I'm practicing what I learned from that guy, and my pain is going away, you know. So it's just, and then you got the spiritual side of things, and so he encompasses everything: your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your physical, all together, the nutrition. And it's just, you walk away so well rounded. So I walked away going, right, okay, this, that, the other, you know.
That's true. How many times do you have to go to one seminar to do health, and another seminar to do business, and another to do marketing or relationships? And, you know, Annie just nailed it on the head. Tony is a holistic approach. He brings his health and fitness man. He brings his the amazing Joseph, of course. You know, he's I think 60 now. He looks like 30. You'll see when you come to UPW. And his beautiful wife, who will do a meditation with you, Master Ko, who does all the spiritual side of things. So, you know, the whole package is not just him. He brings to you the best of the best. And he has coached and mentored himself, the best of the best. Famous people and famous athletes, presidents of America, you name it. They've all learned from Tony Robbins, right? So I love that, because as Annie said, you walk out of it like, wow, what just happened? Every area of my life got covered. And me, just like Annie, I haven't stopped for 10 years. I continue to learn from Tony. I can even hear the same thing, and it means something different, because I'm not the same person that I was the first time, because we're constantly growing. And you know me, like Annie, despite the fact that I speak for Success Resources and I get paid from them and all of that, we have been clients of Success Resources ourselves for over 10 years, because they bring the best of the best. And it is thanks to Success Resources that now you have access to the best of the best from the comfort of your living room. And that would have never happened. Also, if you went to a physical event, you know, depending what seating you want, tickets sell out because it's a venue. It gets full, you know, it's different to virtual. So and you never know, if you're fortunate enough, Tony might pick you to do an intervention one-on-one with you if you're in UPW, which is in what, less than 2 weeks now?
Yeah, well, it's not this weekend, next weekend. And here's something that's very important for people to understand, is that Tony Robbins knows what Tony Robbins knows. But he's bringing all these people in, not because he doesn't want to teach it, but because he knows that he is not a health guru. He learned from them and he practices. So all these people that he brings in, he practices himself with and he's learned. So he put himself under. But he also knows that he's not a jack of all trades. He knows what he knows, right? And then he brings the best of the best in their field to teach, right? And I like that, because that's a humble person, as big as he is, but he's a humble person. He knows, I know what I know, and that's that. Like say even, I'm sure you do it and I do it. You know, there's things that I know and I work with my clients, and then I go, okay, this is an area that I don't know, and I'm not going to sit and pretend. I actually direct them to somebody who specializes in that. And that way, these people get a gift of everything. And that's why he brings them in. Because some people might say, well, why don't we have Tony Robbins the whole time? Well, hang on a minute. You got to also understand that the guy is at it. And I'm talking about, he plays full out. Like when he dances, when you dance, he does this. He doesn't just sit there watching. He goes with it. So he gets himself, he practices as he teaches, what he preaches, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, he doesn't preach, he actually just teaches, right? But he's doing it with you. So if he's doing it, the least you can do is to do it back, because he is feeding off us. He gives us all this stuff. But the least we can do is show up and give him the love, because that's what he feeds off. You know, it's his passion, it's his contribution to the world. And I can tell you, I don't think there's ever going to be another.
That's true. Not in this lifetime. And maybe after we're gone.
Yeah, so there's different amazing trainers out there, and I could say the same about every single one of them for what they do. But we're talking about Tony Robbins today, and I just go, I don't think there's anybody like that. You know, and also when this whole pandemic kicked in, he struggled. Like I've heard him talk about it. He really struggled with it. So if people think, oh, it's Tony Robbins, hang on a minute, because when you're at his level, your problems are much bigger, in a billions of dollars, not a couple of $1,000 or $100,000. It's in a billions. And he's responsible for the livelihood of thousands and thousands and thousands of people that work in these businesses, right? So, and then he puts up his own money to support some of his people, because he has it. So he goes, let me help them out. And then, and this is how I got my son to do it. He was talking about the gaming industry. So he actually reached out to the gamers, because they know how to do all this stuff, and together with the gamers he built all this stuff. And I realized he's got investments in gaming, in a gaming team, and I learned this new thing, that there's Olympics between gamers. I'm like, what? And, yeah, and stadiums get sold out in like hours when people come to watch gamers play games, right? So I said to Julian, man, you got to watch this. That Julian's my son.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he's watching him describe this. He goes, that's it. I want to do UPW.
Oh.
So my 18-year-old, who 2 weeks ago I said, would you like to do UPW? Now think about it, Mom. Now, so here's the thing. There was a commonality. And the thing with him, there's a commonality with everybody. There's something that he does that helps people in some shape or form. So instead of worrying, oh, well, he's got money. Yeah, he has. Good for him. He worked very bloody hard for it.
And you know what, Annie? You just dial it again because, first of all, he's a great role model. He's a leader, and he, as Annie said, he walks his talk. But also, so he created all of these. He always talks about you give out what you want the most. And when he had nothing, a few dollars in his pocket, he would give them out to someone that needed it more than him. You know, despite all the scarcity fears and, you know, I'm not going to have anything to eat tomorrow and stuff. You know, if you want love, that's what you give out first. He's a great role model. And as Annie said, he doesn't pretend to know it all, even though he's very wise in most areas of life. I mean, he's successful in business and, you know, has, I don't know how many of them, but he still brings the partners to teach you. You know, he has learned and does a lot for his health and his wealth. He still brings the guru to teach you. And as Annie said, anyone that he learned from, he will bring them to you. He won't try to be the guru in all of those things. And one thing that he always says that I love is you want to grow yourself. You want to create success and happiness and wealth so you can help more people. Because when you're not successful in those areas of your life, who are you going to help when you can't even help yourself? But if you're already succeeding in certain areas of your life, now you are putting yourself in a position where you can help others. And the reason why he's such an amazing leader is because he's learned to lead himself. You know, leadership comes from the word leading. And you lead yourself, and that starts in the morning. How do you lead yourself to get out of bed when the alarm rings and not press the snooze button? No one might be watching, maybe it's just you, but you know it. And that's how leadership starts. You start with yourself so then you can lead others. And then Annie said, you know, he's so good at connecting with everyone else. You know what? He's going to teach you during the UPW how to build rapport. Because he did neuro-linguistic programming many years ago, which he called neuro-associative conditioning. And so he's going to teach you, which is really powerful because it's a skill of the subconscious that we all have, but many of us don't even know how to use it or how to develop it, how to build rapport with others so you can find that thing in common, and all of a sudden they feel like, I feel like I've known you forever, Annie. I don't know, there's something about you that I like. And they have no idea, and it's because you've been practicing the building rapport strategy. So the list goes on, and you know what? Annie and I can sit here all night and tell you all about it, but just go and experience it for yourself. And Annie, I believe you got a surprise in the mail today for you.
Yes, I did. But before I do that, I just want to say something else. Tony Robbins is a coach. He's a strategist and a leader and a trainer. He's a coach. And he helps people break their patterns. Because the patterns that we have in life due to our experiences is what drives us. But he breaks the pattern, and then we build new patterns that are going to push us forward. So my question is, 4 days of your life for the rest of your life.
I love that.
So when you are in your 30s and 40s and 50s, you have that many years of experience. Why don't you spend another 4 days to break the patterns that just keep you stagnant and create new patterns, which you will, and you will understand, and then you will keep going forward. So I just think it's
I love it.
To me, you can win tax lotto and $1 million, but if you don't know what to do with it, you will lose it. Majority of people that win the lottery, they lose it within a couple of years, because what's in here, it's still in there.
Yeah. Right? Plus, that's not going to bring you the fulfillment and the happiness, you know, that you would get if you created it, because you are living into your life purpose, creating fulfillment and joy from helping others. So, and as Annie said, those patterns have kept you stuck where you are right now. And if you could do it on your own, you would have made it by now. So maybe it's time to let the world's #1 success peak performance coach hold your hand and help you transform skills and teach you. He gets you to do the stuff on the spot, the processes, so that the things change and are ingrained into your cellular system. So that, as Annie said, 4 days later, you walk out a complete different person, ready to smash your life.
That's right. So I received this in a mail today, and I didn't open it because I wanted to open it here live with you guys. So
how perfect timing. I mean, I messaged Jackie last night, said, hey, you feel this? You want to come and share your experience? And she's like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And then this comes in the mail on the day. Like, is that a sign or what?
I say so. And clearly, like most people would know that the UPW is where you do the firework, which we're not going to be able to do online. So he came up with something else. And it says, are you ready for your breakthrough? There's a powerful driving force inside every human being that, once unleashed, can make any vision, dream, or desire a reality. Live with passion. So now, woo, look, I got
it! Let's do this.
And I got the board. Okay, we're gonna be, and I got a pen. Okay, so clearly I gotta write something on it. So what I'm gonna break through. So this is what we're gonna break through.
And then you're gonna my 13-year-old daughter did it 2 months ago, and it was just life-changing for her. At 13, I mean, I wish I did this when I was 15, but hey, it's never too late to change your life.
This is awesome. Yay!
Yay! Well, Annie, thank you so much for sharing your amazing experience. If you don't have it yet, now is your time. Your time is now. Go to bringthefreedom.com so that you can start living your life with freedom, with success, with joy, with happiness, with love and gratitude. Bringthefreedom.com. Get your ticket because we're only a few days away from UPW Virtual. Annie and I will be there, which means you may end up in a breakout group, in a breakout room, doing some of the processes with one of us. And so we look forward to meeting you and seeing you at UPW. Get your ticket, bringthefreedom.com. And just before I let you go, Annie, final words. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your amazing experience with us.
I just want to say thank you for inviting me. I do want to say thank you to Veronica and Richard Tan for first of all allowing. I'm very excited to do this, and for them to, I've known them for a few years now, and for them bringing all these great teachers in to change our world. And my final word is here that our children are our future, and it would be great for you to bring your kids along too. I cannot tell you how excited I am that my 18-year-old is going to be with me. And if you say that your 8-year-old or 9-year-old is too young, not too young. My son did his first personal development course when he was 8. And to this day, even though he said, oh, it's boring, Mom, and he said, but the thing is, kids retain because their minds are like sponges. And to this day, we still practice some of the things from back then. And our kids are our future. So we might as well arm them with all this amazing knowledge. They might not sit through the whole thing, but they might. You don't know. So bring your kids along, bring your partner, because when both of you are learning, you're both growing. If only one is growing, then you're at different, well, not different levels, just different platforms. So when you, as you said right at the beginning, when you learn together, you stay together, okay? So even though I'm not with my husband anymore, but I want him to experience this also. I'd like that for him so he can have the life that he might want. I don't know what life he wants, but there you go. So invite your friends, invite your family, it is, you're not spending money on anything else right now other than your mortgage or rent or and food, but you actually do have some money, so invest it. It's the best gift you can give yourself.
Yes, and I believe you're in Melbourne and you are single, you're now allowed to visit another single person just for mental sanity. So there you go, bring your friend and do this together. And Annie is so right. Jacqueline, you know, apparently as of yesterday, like if you're single, you're allowed to visit another single person. So you guys can do it together. And yeah, my 13-year-old Lana did the one in July with me, brought through her board, and now Bree, who's 10, is gonna be doing. She's got her board in the mail couple of last week. So I'm very excited. I hope that you and I are in a breakout room at some point, Annie. Thank you so much for your time and generosity. Get your ticket, bringthefreedom.com. On behalf of Success Resources, Tony Robbins, Annie Kallis, and Sandra Bravo signing off in Gold Coast. We will see you tomorrow, same place, same time. Thank you, Annie.